Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. So here's the thing. Here's how the left-wing media apparatus works. They operate under two assumptions. The first assumption is that you're stupid, and the second assumption is that you're a coward. In other words, they'll lie to your face and expect you to be dumb enough to accept it. They'll gaslight you into oblivion, suggesting that what you think is dumb or a conspiracy theory. And then of course, once you start to realize even a little bit that you're probably not being presented with accurate information, then of course the intimidation tactics start. That's where the second assumption comes into play. They think you're a coward. They don't think you're tough enough to survive their gaslighting campaigns. Of course, their tactics of labeling you. They'll label you a racist, a bigot, an extremist, a conspiracy theorist, whatever it is, and they expect you to back down. Well, you know, that might have worked in the past. People used to be deathly afraid of being labeled an Alex Jones-style conspiracy theorist. But nowadays, nobody gives a crap anymore. We see exactly what's going on, and people are calling a spade a spade. Let's frickin' go, folks. Enough tiptoeing around the subjects, enough walking on eggshells. Just frickin' say it, just like Joe Rogan's saying it. This is obviously what the Democrats are up to. Don't let them gaslight you into oblivion thinking you're crazy for suggesting it. We're talking about the Democrat illegal immigration racket. It's obvious what they're doing. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so if you ever wondered why the mainstream media is so hellbent, or rather the Democrat mainstream media is so hellbent on canceling people like Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson, well, this is why. Because they say stuff like this.
But look at New York City. When Cuomo was explaining how New York City literally has a mandate to house its homeless. Yeah. And that was supposed to be the people that lived there that were down on their luck. And now it's people that have come in from other cities, or other countries rather, illegally. And they're trying to make it so that those people can vote. And you see what they're doing with people from Venezuela?
Crazy.
They're sending people back from Venezuela.
Only from Venezuela.
Yeah, because Venezuela opposes socialism. So they're not going to vote Democratic.
Yeah.
They don't want those people.
That's crazy.
This is wild.
It's crazy how it's so odd. Like when you start thinking about it like that, that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's like totally political, all these moves.
100%.
Yeah.
They're literally importing Democratic voters.
Yeah.
They think by allowing the borders to be porous and by giving people aid and giving people housing that you're essentially guaranteeing that if you can rig it so that those people are allowed to vote, those people are going to vote Democratic. And if you could say that, oh, voter ID is racist, like, what? Voter ID is racist.
That's crazy that they think that.
But
they don't think that. They don't think that. They know that that's not true.
It's horse.
Yeah.
It's all political horse.
Oh boy, do they want this one to go away. Democrats want so badly to have emotional control, you know? They want to wield morality and ethics as a weapon. You support borders? What do you think, people are illegal? You think we should just let them starve or die? They're refugees. We have a responsibility. You know, Democrats will always play the game of moral outrage. What about the people? You don't care about life. You don't care about people. But that, of course, as we know, it's a total manipulation tactic. That's what sociopaths do to manipulate weak-willed people, emotionally fragile people, into doing their bidding. This whole illegal immigration crisis isn't a crisis of compassion. It's a crisis of power. Joe Rogan is right. There is no other logical explanation for the Democrats' behavior on this issue. We're not talking about legal migration, legal paths towards citizenship. We're talking about a totally out-of-control border. We're talking about immigration chaos that doesn't exist anywhere in the developed world at all. Find a developed nation that has an open, porous border like the US does. Even the European Union doesn't even come close to how bad it is at the southern border. And obviously, it's a situation that's being abused by criminal organizations. It's a problem. There's no way to justify this, and Democrats freaking 10 years ago would have never justified it. But now, all of a sudden, everything's changed. The question is, what has changed? Well, it's the perspective. Democrats know that all these people aren't refugees. You don't get 3 million legitimate asylum claims in a single year. That's preposterous. Maybe in the tens of thousands, probably within the thousands, is around the numbers that would make sense to me. And Democrats obviously know this, but they're totally willing to just blanket slap a label for every single person crossing the border illegally. Just label them all asylum seekers and let's get them on a pathway to citizenship because that's the compassionate thing to do. Give me a freaking break. Democrats' mouths are watering, they're freaking drooling. Their eyes are as big as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's. They're looking at these massive migrant caravans, and they're seeing one thing and one thing alone: power. Look at all of these people. If we somehow get them that path towards citizenship, they're in our pockets forever. And what does that mean? Well, that means Democrat reign indefinitely, forever. That's obviously the political calculus here. And again, let's go right back to the same thought. Let's just apply common sense. What other justification could there possibly be? Obviously, they're not asylum seekers. The simplest explanation has to be the right explanation. Democrats want to import voters illegally. Democrats want to rig the system. They want to spread hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants across every single state, millions in total, but hundreds of thousands per every important crucial swing state, right? And all the big metropolitan areas that they've been slowly slipping in. You know, we keep hearing it now from Democrat strategists' own admission that New York State is more competitive than ever before. Some people are even calling it a swing state or a battleground state. Well, if you're facing that kind of, let's call it political calamity, what better way to fix it than to import millions of loyal voters straight into the big cities where you need it most? But anyways, getting sidetracked on a tangent here, the point I was trying to get at is you obviously cannot justify this asylum claim nonsense, and you also cannot justify the Democrat stance on voter ID. Voter ID is racist, says the Democrats.
This is the 2024 version of the Jim Crow poll tax, and we should vote against it.
Only citizens can vote for the United States Senate. Only citizens can vote for the presidency of the United States. So this extreme MAGA Republican voter suppression bill is not designed to solve any problem on behalf of the American people. It is designed to jam people up and prevent Americans from voting. The extreme MAGA Republican voter suppression.
I mean, where the frick did that come from? Again, go across the Western world, every developed nation. Take a look at how they conduct their elections. Mostly paper ballots, and proof of ID is required. I mean, this isn't a nuanced topic of debate. It's black or white. It's common sense or just brain-dead idiotic nonsense. But Democrats, again, are sticking to their guns on this issue. Voter ID is racist, and they don't want it as a requirement to participate in American democracy.
Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? On this vote, the yeas are 221, the nays are 198. The bill is passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
I mean, look at the numbers. Nearly 200 Democrats voted against the bill. They don't want to secure American elections. They don't want proof of ID to be required when voting. That tells you all that you need to know. This asylum scam, this voter ID scam, all this gaslighting nonsense, this distraction, all these ridiculous theories, all this justification, these distractions. It's obvious what the Democrats are up to. We're not stupid enough to not be able to see the obvious. We can see it. We're smart enough to see it. The question is, are we courageous enough to call out the clear corruption? Joe Rogan certainly is. I just hope more people feed off of Joe's courage and more people start to do the same. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.